Welcome back to the Eek podcast, where it has been a extremely long time, probably like a year. Partially our fault, my fault. But I'm the host, Kyle, here with
Um.
Ethan.
Okay. You could have also introduced me as the other host. I'm not
No,
the. You're
I'm
not.
the host.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
the king. You're
Did
the
you know we
king.
have
No, I'm
13
the
subscribers? It's. Oh no. I thought it was 9 months, but I've never watched a video on the channel. The first video was, can Mexican dads taste the difference? So anyway, welcome. It's been a
welcome,
while.
welcome, welcome. It has been a very long time,
5 months. It's been
and
5 months since the
it's been 5 months. Okay, that's not
this is
terrible.
technically episode 8, but to give
It's
you all a, by the way, did you know we have community posting? I don't know if
doing.
that's something that every YouTube channel gets now, but I know you used to like apply for it. Anyway. So yeah, this is technically a new series. I'm gonna keep the other videos up. I'll put them in a different playlist, but this will be like the new format. Um
Where
do you
we
even
put a
remember the
little bit
name?
more thought. We had a name for it.
Animation analysis.
Animation analysis, yeah. That's
Um
what we had a name for it?
This is mostly so we're not only anime. Is there? Let's be frank. Trying to watch 12 episodes in a week is like, it's not that bad. If it's the only like, so today we're actually talking. If you have eyes, we're doing Dungeon Meshi, Core One, mostly because it's new. It's the newest thing,
Yeah.
kind of. Well, I'm sure it's not the newest thing. I haven't watched seasonal anime in so long. Dude,
It's weekly. Yeah, like there's a new episode the 18th, literally in three
yeah.
days. So
Which, to be fair, that's Core 2. Kyle started
yeah.
overwatching, so it's fine though. We'll just
I
try
hate
not
it. I
talking
hate it.
about the first. You just so I didn't okay. I didn't watch the whole thing. I didn't watch the first full Core. That's mostly because I've read the manga 3 times now.
I don't read, so I just watch. I like
Which
watching.
it's fine if I actually talk about where I started at, because I actually started at it when they got to like the floor has a specific name. I'm pretty sure it's the fourth floor, the fish floor, where they
I thought it was the fish floor with the
uh
with
I
Kraken.
started when they found Kabru's party, when after they got fucked up by a bunch of bugs.
Yep.
So that's where I picked it up in the manga. So I've been like, I wasn't day one, but I've been around for a while. Also, I already knew the artist because she big Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 fan. I need to send you that actually. She has drawn every single Baldur's Gate character in her art style. She's
Oh,
also drawn every single main character in the other race art style. So like she has like Senshi as like a tall man, Senshi is an elf, which you actually, little spoiler alert here. You get to see
oh,
Senshi as an elf
no,
eventually.
no, he's fine.
No, they actually just make him skinny. It's funny. But yeah, so we have a scoring system. We'll go over it since the first episode. I'll probably repeat myself. We're both going to be scoring 5 different things. I have a little notepad here. Also, check out my awesome cursive. What can I say, man? I can't write print.
I'm Yeah, I'm
It's a Google
just gonna
Doc.
free ball. I got a Google Doc.
So the first thing is animation. Since we are it's animation analysis. We're literally that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
Enjoyability. There's a difference between enjoying something and thinking something is really good. I I love Dragon Ball GT, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that shit's good. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that shit's
Yes,
good.
yes. I am
Soundtrack,
a
very important, especially if we ever do a movie. Soundtracks in movies are like arguably the biggest part.
Yeah, you have
Just ask Kung Fu Panda 4, man. I don't know if
every DreamWorks movie, honestly.
that that movie if it didn't have that one line from Mr. Beast and its awesome soundtrack, it wouldn't even be a movie. That movie, I don't. We'll talk about that eventually. We'll do like a Universal like marathon or something where we just go over like three. We go over like all the Shrek movies. I need to go watch Shrek 2. It's in theaters. I don't know if it's in ours though.
They probably might be. Maybe.
Spider-Man 2 is also in there. Not animation, but peak. Characters, pretty much that's self-explanatory. we'll be going over like the main. We'll talk about main cast, and we'll talk about some side characters we like. If we ever do One Piece,
Yeah,
which why don't we should just wait till One Piece like
it's done.
remake comes out, because they're doing
Yeah.
is it, you know what studio's doing it?
I don't remember. Um,
It's not A1.
to the internet.
Yeah, you do it. But
Yep.
we'll wait till that, because I think they're cutting out filler in that.
Everything you need to know about it. It's still by Toei.
I thought another studio was helping him though.
Clear remake. Wit Studio.
Wit? Okay. It'll be fine.
And distributed by Netflix. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Because Toei's been kind of buddy with him instead of Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
And then plot. We love plot. And the way it'll work is, so since there's 5 categories, we're both going to score it 1 out of 10, and then it'll have a total score after that. So if I end up scoring, like, you know, I'm not doing math, so I'm just going to say a 5 on everything. If I thought everything was just average, that would get me 25 out of 50. If Kyle did the same thing, it'd be another 25 out of 50. You have a 50 out of 100 anime, so a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's go ahead and talk. What do you want to talk about first? We don't have to go in any order.
I mean, want to just start with plot, since that's kind of the main important part of animes?
Yes. Okay. Okay, so for people who are anime only, this is going to sound crazy. I'm not the biggest fan of the first part of Dungeon Meshi. I love it because I work in the culinary field. That's my job. It's my career, pretty much. I love food. From a culinary perspective, it's crazy how well, like, in detail it is. And I love the plot that's around it. It's an interesting concept. Like,
very much so. Like going into dungeons and eating the dungeon monsters because you can't afford food is the most relatable thing ever. Despite the monster part, I guess,
it's different. But I mean, even then, they're really only killing monsters that compete in a cycle.
Yeah.
Until we talk about the last episode on the plot part. I'm assuming, because episode 1, Fallon dies. Episode 1, right? She gets eaten.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's literally the intro. The intro is her Thanos snapped.
So pretty much, there's a group. We'll talk about more in characters. There's technically 2 tall men at the beginning, 3 tall men if you count.
Yeah, what's his name?
What is his name?
I have the wiki up.
Shiro. So originally Laios's group is Laios Towden and Fallon Towden, the 2 tall men who are brother and sister. And Shiro, who's another tall man who's more Japanese, more Eastern, compared to Laios and Fallon, who are more like European based. Marcial, oh, you know what? That sucks. No, this is where it's gonna hurt. Cause
don't start spoiling. Don't start spoiling.
No, they wouldn't. She's an elf. I'll just say an elf. There's more to it, but I don't think they talk about.
First episode, no.
Does she ever? Well, no, just like the whole first 13. Does she ever talk about her age? It would be the episode you're on if Fallon's. Okay, never mind. It would be Cour 2. We'll talk about Cour 2. She's an elf.
Yeah.
Chillchuck is a half foot.
In one of the episodes, they like beg Chillchuck to tell him their age. He's like in the 40s, I think, like 48.
Yeah,
I think
he is old for a half foot. He is like on his deathbed. He's also Marcial also gets out of him that he is children, but that may also be later on the line. But it's not like it's that. He's basically divorced. Since she's a dwarf, which he doesn't come in technically till later, but Namari was the original dwarf warrior on their party, and basically the whole thing is they are just adventuring the dungeon and they want to go kill the red dragon. Well, they kind of got murked.
Yeah.
And Fallon sacrifices herself, gets eaten by the red dragon. They end up getting sent back to the surface, and Shiro and Namari end up leaving because Laos really wants to go save Fallon because he's a monster freak.
Yeah, very much. And Namari leaves for money, and Shuro, and they say it in the first 12 episodes, was deeply in love in Fallon. Deeply, deeply in love.
Yeah,
They say that in the first 12, so I could say that.
Shiro had a crush, and it's heavily implied that Marcial and Fallon were like buddy at the academy.
Yes, very much so,
Uh,
buddy.
and you can interpret it however you want. They don't really ever like, they don't ever say anything or explain anything, but it's very like, it couldn't. They could just be like,
Yeah.
you know how girl best friends are, bro.
Yeah, they got that bath scene. That's all I'm saying. They got that bath scene. That's all I'm saying.
Just wait, man. Wait till Marcel starts having a mental breakdown over Laos for the 30th fucking episode in a row. It's all the time, dude.
It's the great and power of Marcel. Come on. Great and powerful.
But yeah, pretty much Laos is obsessed with monsters. He has this like old cookbook of how to cook monsters. And when they go into the what's it called? The dungeon, they meet Senshi, the funny dwarf guy. We'll talk about voice acting when we get to characters.
Yeah.
Because I watched the first episodes in sub and then I swapped over to dub because I heard it was awesome. And as
really
usual,
good.
trigger dub just hits. Yeah. Like whenever if we ever talk about Kill la Kill, which, man, another 24 episode anime. We just want you all to know that we were originally we were gonna do SAO season 1 at first, and then we saw it was like 20 something episodes, and we said, "Oh hell
like,
no.
No, I'm not rewatching that right now."
Season 1's okay, but
yeah, season 1 is okay. It is indeed okay.
Since she's basically, man, I can't even talk about his backstory yet. Since she's just this dwarf who lives in the dungeon, they don't really go over it too much in season 1, why he's there, but he lives off of the land pretty much. They have a golem scene, right, where he's like farming.
Yeah, the farming the golems. Yeah.
You know, and he agrees to go with them because Laos sees his opportunity to widen his horizons of eating.
Teach me how to cook things
some
more.
Funny things.
And then Sinchi joins them because he wants to cook the red dragon. That's been his big thing.
That's
at least in season 1. That is the goal.
And you know, there's some other like, it's pretty much like a really cozy adventure anime. There's not
the first season.
The first half of it's really more like about the cooking aspect and about dungeoning. There's not exactly a lot of fights I don't remember. Probably until they get to the water. Daniel answered me. Before they get to like
there's like a couple. There's like a handful. Like they fight the chicken snake thing.
Well, yeah, that so and the mandrakes that Marcio pulls out and has that funny.
the PC, her eyes going.
Yeah, her eyes going around. Dude, that's also the episode where I thought people were editing it online, but they just fucking like zoom into it. They don't even they don't even animate it. They like just zoom in, and that's just it. And it's so
her voice acting during that part. We get that later, but it's so funny.
It's so funny. Yeah, and you know, so the first pretty much the first half of Cour 1 is just about cooking. It's about dungeoning. It's D&D. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. Plot wise, there's not really a lot that goes on. I'd have to look at the episode list so I confirm that. You know
what? They run into the orcs and the
there's the orc situation, but they don't ever. I think they only come up one more time, and it's post dragon. So
yeah, they come up after the chief's sister shows up after. Yeah, but they make bread. They do make bread. They make bread.
Chapters, volumes, adaptations. Can you give me anime? Here you go. I want to see all the episode names because then I could just tell you what they do by that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, oh, there's also like the living. Dude, I forgot how fast this anime they did the anime. The
Oh
living
yeah.
armor scene is episode 3.
Mhm.
Which is no, I got up to Kabru. Yeah, I got up to the Kelpie episode. Yeah, wild episode. That's like the first part where it kind of starts getting dark.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it to put it like simply is like it's very at home, but also still. I guess the best way
Honestly,
it
like
feels like Dan
the end.
Machi. I don't know if
Yeah.
you ever
The
watched how to is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon, but it has that feel where it's like half the time nothing is like it's just cozy character interaction, and then the other half is like, wow, we almost died to the most horrendous thing to man.
Yeah, honestly, the ending of season 1, I was like just, putting my clothes away while watching just to, have it there. Once they like start fighting the red dragon, I'm like, holy, what it's everything's just happening now.
Red
Everything's just
Dragon
like,
got
oh
3 episodes.
yeah, there it's no longer he only really shows up in the second of the 3.
Yeah,
Like they start planning towards the beginning, they, do everything and kill him in the middle, and then they do the ritual, bring her back, blah blah blah.
I guess the most
Follow him back.
important part about all of this, so during the Kelpie is where things kind of start showing up. So since she had this Kelpie that he was trying to train to get him across the water because he doesn't like magic, normal dwarf stuff. Going across the water, the Kelpie drags him. It's pretty brutal. Like the Kelpie tries drowning him after he like put
Yeah.
trust into her and all this other stuff. That's kind of like your first step into like, wow, this is insane.
And it's gonna
Also,
start
the
getting
orcs
very,
murdering
very soon.
people, but
That is true. Yes.
um, but then we meet Kabru's party. Kabru is supposed to be like this noble hero, pretty much, but he's kind of like a best way to put Kabru's character. He's very selfish, but it's not. He doesn't like mean to be. So like
Yeah.
the way it looks at it is like everyone is like encouraging his like self righteousness. I like Daniel Six in the group, the Momocon group chat
Yeah. I
now.
see that.
And then eventually, the dwarf we mentioned, her name Nanashi, Naneshi, whatever the dwarf woman's
That's
name is from the original party, she shows up with the gnomes who were sent there
Namari.
to Namari, who they went. Remember what the gnomes were
They
down
went
there
with the
for?
gnomes. I don't remember.
It was to retrieve
Uh,
something else. I don't think it was to trick.
yeah. They used Namari basically as like a meat shield
Yeah,
for all of their BS that they want to do.
and then Shuro's
And
party, the dude who's in love with Fallon, went back down there to get Fallon.
yeah, but now we're starting to get into see course 2. So
Is it a course 2? Is that
that's
not
course 2.
during Red
That's course 2.
Dragon? I thought they.
Mm-mm.
Oh, there's Sea Serpent then.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
that's
well, we'll just talk about the Dragon
now
part.
we're
Since
starting. Yeah, we're
Dragon's
starting
kind
to
of
get
like
into
the most
course.
important part. Does Sissel show up? Because
Yeah,
the
so Sissel shows up.
she shows up in the painting scenes. I'm assuming.
Yeah, shows
Or
up in the
he?
painting
Is
scenes,
Sissel a woman
and
or?
then they use he
Okay,
in
yeah,
the
he's
show.
a he.
So, but they
I'd tap
shows
either
up
way.
in the in the paintings, and then whenever it's the last episode of course 1, Fallon sneaks out, and then goes back to the dragon and blah 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 at the
Yeah.
end of that.
So to put it in retrospect, like the last 3 episodes is basically so Sissel is the dungeon master, and the way I can't get into the way it works because it will be a spoiler, but Sissel's the dungeon master, so she can change everything at will in the dungeon, which is why it constantly changes, and it was changing more the further they got down to the Red Dragon because Sissel didn't want them there because that is the old kingdom that was in said item frames. Which it is so much bigger than what Cour 1 talks about. I'm assuming second episode is where they kill it.
But yeah, so they kill the red dragon in the second episode, then they resurrect Fallen in like the middle of
So
it.
Marcille reveals that she knows dark magic, which
Yeah.
is not really talked about at all. It'll be talked about a lot in Cour 2
Yeah,
because
the
his
only one that does talk about it is Chilchuck. He seems the only one to be
yeah,
bothered by it.
Chilchuck is like legit just like okay, dude, we're being
Yeah,
sent to prison.
yeah,
And on top of that, basically the way it works is so whenever they resurrected Fallon, they only used her bones and the meat of the red dragon. So Fallon basically is like half monster, half. The way it works is when you resurrect something in the world, especially with dark magic, it uses the soul of whatever was attached to said like body. Well, because they used Fallon's skeleton, which had her soul attached to it, and the dragon's meat, which had its soul attached to it, now their souls have been attached to each other. And I'm assuming episode 13 is when Sissel tells her to come back and she turns
yeah.
into the freaky ass chicken thing.
Yeah, it doesn't show it, so chicken thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, guess what, guys? I just
yeah,
spoiled you on chicken thing.
chicken thing. They just show a
But
dark
pretty
shadow.
much she can still be mind controlled by the dungeon master because half of her is still technically tied to said dungeon master underneath her. But that's basically the plot: cooking and
Yeah.
adventuring. Like I don't.
And then
Um.
it gets dark out of practically nowhere. Like
Yeah.
it starts to get slightly dark in the mirror right before, like in the mirror verse, right before they get to the water. So there's like kind of a build up to
Yeah.
it. Because like whenever you guys, it's like the third painting is whenever Sissel shows up and is like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah. So the way that the painting thing worked was it was supposed to be like when you jump in them. It think of fucking Mario 64, I guess. When you jump in them, you're in that moment that's happening. And I also went in there to see if he could eat food in there and come back out full, but you can't because you're just eating
Mhm.
ink.
Yeah, and then he wanted to bring the food out for everyone
And
else.
basically Sissel recognized him in the paintings. And the reason why Sissel was in the paintings was because he is the dungeon master, he was using said paintings to like relive memories is how it worked. They don't
Mm.
explain that
Yeah.
in the manga, they don't at least, but she ended up going back through and being like TLDR. Uh
Hmm.
Sissel uses these paintings to relive those memories, which is why it's not because she noticed that Laos was out of place, or he realized that Laos was never there to begin with, and he was only there in said paintings, which is where this is like the suspicion started building up with Sissel.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the most important
But,
plot point up until Red Dragon
yeah.
and orc stuff. But I mean, the orcs are kind of
Yeah, the orcs basically all they do is just like, hey, the red
bread,
dragon's down
bread,
there. Go
bread,
kill it.
bread,
And bread. Yep.
bread,
Bread.
bread, bread, bread. Truthfully, if I had to give like the plot a rating for the first thing, I give it a 7 out of 10
Yeah,
probably. It
I'm
had
I'm
like
in that around range.
it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with it being like, see, a 5 is average. I don't know why people make like 7 average. No, that's not how that
No.
works.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I would give Boruto like a 1 on plot. Um but yeah, no, I think I would end up doing a 7 more than likely. It fits in that like that perfect bill of being like good, but also like it's not to the point where I'm calling it the greatest thing I've ever watched. And I'm
Yeah.
not calling it like okay. Um, there's still very strong storytelling, especially foreshadowing. There's a ton of
Yeah.
foreshadowing in Core
Oh,
One.
yeah.
So
It does have like a
I would do
pretty slow
7.
start. The slow start is kind of what keeps it from being like that almost perfect.
They did
But
rush episode 1. I
yeah.
didn't think Fallon was gonna die episode 1. I figured that they'd actually extend it to where they would adventure down into it. But they
No, they literally start the anime with her dying. So
just fine. It's basically how the manga starts too.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm feeling 7 as
a
well.
7.
Honestly.
We're gonna be
Yeah.
those fucking people who do 7 out of 7s all the time. Um, I just want to learn the soundtrack because I'm gonna be real. I only listened to a lot of the songs outside of watching the anime when I did. Besides the opening and ending, it really is just classic adventure music.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's
it's well,
incredible.
yeah.
It's okay. I no, the opening's fun and the ending is really good. I would probably do 6 out of 10. It's not. It's not like fucking JoJo's. It's not Battle Tendency where every fucking song is a banger that comes out of it.
Yep.
Fucking Jonathan's theme, the opening theme, the ending theme, fucking
Yeah.
Caesar's theme, fucking Avalon, the fucking Pillarman theme. Like, not all of them
Yeah.
can be Battle Tendency, but I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah,
I'm gonna go with 7 because it's bumping chicken. Bump of chicken.
bumping chicken man. What's wrong with you? Oh, I put that under characters. There's no way characters are gonna be a fucking 13. Trust me. Okay. Let's go to animation because it's Trigger.
Yeah.
I do want to say Trigger has a very bad track record with adaptations. I'm trying to think. See, this is where I fall. I gotta look up fucking Trigger adaptations.
I know the Bones one or whatever. What am I looking up? Or what am I thinking of?
Studio Trigger. I don't even want to talk about. Oh, they co-produced Darling in the Frame with Clover and A1.
Hmm.
Okay, well, I don't remember which. I know SSS Gridman was kind of like okay. Most their SSS stuff is. Damn, dude, they do nothing but original work. When
Yeah.
when supernatural battles became commonplace was also not very good. I will put that out there. But they don't have the greatest track. Trigger kind of they have done a lot of things. I mean, Kill la Kill, Space Patrol Luluku, Kiss Niver was really good. Little Witch, classic.
Yeah.
Darling the Fran falls short, but I blame that more on A1 than I do Trigger. Um, I didn't like BNA that much, but I know a lot of people do. And then they're making new panty and stocking, but
Oh, I did really? I didn't
yeah,
even
but
know
that's
that.
because it was originally Gynax,
Mm.
and Gynax became Studio Trigger, which I think Gynax is where
The
people
adaptation was the what we're thinking of.
adaptations are kind of like a little thing, but Trigger's been fine. But yeah,
Yeah.
no. So Trigger has technically done like
Really good.
they've done Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I don't think that's still Gyna. I don't think Gynax. Um, Dude, some of these names are crazy. Petite Princess UCA. I won't talk about Gurren Lagann. Fall asleep. Yeah, but like they made like Beyblade. I did not know they made Beyblade X. That's funny. They made Medeka Box, which I need to watch that eventually. But they did the original panty and stocking and all that stuff. But yeah. Anyway, Studio Trigger is pretty good. I mean, I don't know what to
Yeah.
say.
They are pretty good.
Studio Trigger is. I will say, Delicious in Dungeon doesn't have that normal Studio Trigger feel, but that's definitely on purpose, and I think that's
Yeah.
because they wanted to have a good adaptation here. They wanted
Yes,
to be as source material as possible. It reminds me of there was an anime I watched recently that they kept the animation style to a T. It was like JoJo's, where like the animation style like fits
I mean,
manga.
it's Mob Psycho.
Yeah,
I
Mob
mean,
Psycho
that's a
and
popular one.
season 1 OPM, season 2
Yeah.
and 3 don't really have, or 3 hasn't come out yet, right? It's not,
No, I think 3 is still
is it
in the
still
works.
on being made?
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to say about animation, mostly because it's a pretty I mean, it's Trigger. It's not like I can like sit here and like complain about it. Like it's like still like
Yeah.
a 9 out of 10 for me. Like
Did you so you said you only watched like the first episode. Have you seen any clips of the dragon fight towards the end?
I haven't.
And oh my
I'm
god.
assuming Trigger
They
is
look Trigger
because
cooked
they didn't do
so
3D, did
hard.
they? They kept it. They didn't.
No, it
It's
is
all 2D.
all
Yeah.
it's
So yeah,
all
no,
2D
that's
hand drawn.
Trigger. Trigger
Uh
Trigger only uses 3D for like stupid shit. Like when they were making Kill la Kill, I'm pretty sure whenever like it would be like super specific things. Like they almost never use it.
yeah.
In Darling of the Friend, but
Like personally,
the
I
anime.
just want to throw it a 10 out of 10 just for the fight scenes alone.
I
Because the
mean,
fight
it
scenes
is Studio Trigger,
are
so
genuinely like, I know you haven't seen the fight scenes, like at least the ending ones.
we don't
Because
get
like
to them.
the scene where they fight the Kraken octopus thing
Yeah.
looks so good. Like it's mainly just the fight scenes for me. I'm a big fight scene enjoyer.
No, that's the serpent. That would be core too. The Kraken
Yeah.
is fish part.
Yeah, Serpent's like near the beginning of Core 2. I watched that one. It also looks really good, but I'm not going to talk about it. So,
My favorite part of the manga.
yeah.
Talks about Kabru, and
Yeah.
I don't think it talks about his backstory yet. That won't be till
Mm.
Elf arc,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's Studio Trigger. If we were talking about like SAO, where
Low battery.
it has like it has varying animation quality. Like it could be like One Piece, where like one season, like where we went from what is Doflamingo's art called? I can't even remember. But we went from Doflamingo to Big Cake,
God, what is
where
yeah,
Doflamingo
Whole Cake Island
Whole Cake,
and it's not Alabasta. Dressrosa.
yeah, we
Dressrosa.
went from Dressrosa to Whole Cake, where Dressrosa was like Dressrosa is why I haven't watched the anime, like gotten to that
Yeah,
point in the anime.
just
So bad.
sucks. It
And then,
honestly looks like the
and then
beginning of One Piece, but
and then
even
Whole
worse
Cake,
somehow.
like especially when we get to the whoever that guy, the funny gum guy,
Mhm.
the dude
Yeah.
who has like mochi arms or whatever. I can't remember his name. People
Yeah.
fucking love him.
Katakuri.
Yes, I don't like
Yes.
Whole Cake.
His and Luffy's fight looks so good. Have you seen modern episodes?
Egghead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Egghead's
And
pretty good. That's where I stopped in the manga, man. And I gotta like catch
another
up.
new art style.
Well, they've done it like they've done it in every single arc, pretty much. So like, well, One Piece. Enjoyability.
One
This
day,
is where we
one
gotta yap for about an hour and a half.
day.
Let's do
I-
characters first. Let's do
Yeah.
characters. Is he? Oh, I thought he was typing in. My phone just turned on. He just said, "Damn."
Daniel.
I could have said, "Are you even alive?" Just because, yeah. That's it. That's what you want to say. Anyway,
Bro must
let's talk
be
about
lit-
characters,
Yeah.
which is where we'll also talk about voice acting. So we get a while the app
Yeah, we
here.
can-
This
I
is
don't
one of
think
my
there's a single character I don't like, honestly. I think I really like all of them in
this
terms of Core 1.
this is Core 2 is better because you'll get the other girl, but
Yeah.
if I'm just talking about the main group, Laos, Marcial, Senshi, Shilchuk, I guess that's technically the main group, but then you have like Fallon.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite from like, especially from like an adventure standpoint.
Yeah.
Like they
Like any modern anime, honestly, for me.
even if we're
personally.
taking it from like a like something that has classes, they like kind of went out of the box. Like, yeah, I know that the dwarf is still the warrior, and you know the half foot is a
Locksman,
lot like a
trap guy.
trap guy, which is funny. You
Yeah.
just spoiled that he actually is a locksmith.
Oh,
he
it says that he is.
It's
like,
funny.
He does he locks.
They say he
chests and
says he's
stuff.
basically divorced, but he still technically owns like a business with his wife.
Oh, I was just saying that because he can break locks and like the mimics. Oh, the mimics. Oh,
He's just
The
like
mimic.
free Aaron. He's literally the opposite of Frieren. Frieren will go to any fucking chest she sees because she thinks it'll have a grimoire on it, and there's Chilchuck
Yeah,
who avoids chests at
yeah. And
all
then
possible
Marcel,
times.
the elf, who's a mage. Who,
But they just kind of mesh so well together. You have Laos, who's the like strong-hearted idiot, but he's not even like an idiot. Like he has so much like sense. He just couldn't care. He
it just kind of is like Goku, but for like eating food, not fighting people.
he. That's what fucking Goku basically is. He don't care about fighting people.
Yeah, that is true. He does
He
also just lunch.
Laos is like the perfect example of someone who was on a fucking mission and he couldn't give a shit about anything else. I will say it. In Core 1, I don't know about in the anime, but in the manga, a lot of times, he would end up putting like priority over eating a monster over saving his sister. Like you could tell that saving his sister at some point became like the second objective for him,
Yeah,
but
in the first couple of episodes, he was like, "Ooh, we gotta eat these. My sister can wait."
uh, but
And then
uh
once we get to like the water level where
time
stuff
was
hits the
running out,
fan,
yeah.
yeah, he's just like, "Okay,
Um
we've got to
I
go."
mean, Senshi is awesome from like a especially Core 1 where you know nothing about the guy other than he can cook.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
you
you know
still
about
love
him.
him. Literally, that's all you know about him
Uh
because they made a lovable
he's
doofus.
basically the father of the group, besides like, and I would say Chilchuck is the mom of the group.
Yeah,
Um,
and Marcel and Leos are the children. Yeah,
Marcella's just funny because she's just like the oh my god, I don't want to do this, and then she ends up liking all of it.
yeah,
Um, she's also probably the most competent one out of the entire group. She, which is funny thinking about that because she hates doing everything, but
yeah.
uh, she's strong. She knows magic, and that's a pretty big deal. And I mean, even then, Laosis' funny sword, his little
Yeah.
bug, his little
His
creature
bug
sword,
sword. Yeah.
uh,
The,
which is so funny. That's a short.
the bug
That's
sword just gives him ultra instinct. Like
foreshadow.
literally.
It's the biggest piece of foreshadowing in the entire series, and I think it's so funny because like the entire time it's just like, oh look at this funny little sword. Yeah, man, what a
Yeah.
funny little sword.
I also love the way they interact with each other. Like there's the episode where Chilchuck is like, going through the trap maze or whatever, and Sinshi is just not giving a single
No,
flying anything. And
like
then
the
things go wrong, and Chilchuck's like, "No, we are doing it my way, and I'll show you how to do it." Blah blah blah.
and then she
And
is like, oh, like okay, I
And
guess.
then Shinshi's like, okay, you're gonna learn how to cook if you teach me how to, do
Which is the
traps.
same thing that happened in the fish episode was Marcel being
Mhm.
like, hey, I can just use magic and we can get across easily, but since she's like, no, we have to do it this way, and then since she ends up being wrong, it's supposed to show that it's showing Senshi opening up, which I think makes a lot for his
Yeah.
character. He'll open up a couple more times because he hasn't done it with Lighthouse yet, because
Hmm.
they share a common interest, unlike the other two do with him.
Hmm.
But no, I love Chilchuck. Chilchuck is probably my second favorite of the group outside of Marcial, but
Yeah.
um, every time Chilchuck talks, it is the sassiest and like he's just like, man, fuck you, like all the time.
And
He doesn't hold
honestly,
back,
like, yeah, he is the realist. Like, he will tell you how he feels. He does not give a crap about your feelings.
and he's like on the bridge of like, yeah, I'll eat this, but I won't eat that. Like he's like
Yeah.
open, but he's not like he's between Marcel and Laos, where it's like, oh yeah, I love this, and then oh yeah, I don't. So
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then
that's
when they eat
basically
the thing.
like, I mean, you have all
And then
this.
Core One, you do get Namari stuff as well, so we could maybe talk about her a little
Uh,
bit
I hate
if you want
Namari.
to.
I
Same.
think she's the epitome of a bad friend.
Yeah.
Which is fine. She's in it for the business. She wasn't in it for the group, but
Yeah.
I
I
don't
do like
like.
that they somehow get along near the end, Marcel and Namari, like after they catch the water
Yeah,
spirit thing, whatever, that was cool. But like other than that, it's just like I was kind of expecting her to rejoin the group just because, I care about them, but then she's like, no, I still want my money. I was like, oh well,
no, it's
damn. Damn.
Namari was always meant to just be like a polar
The bread
opposite of
chaser.
Marcel, pretty much. And so that's why whenever she's with the gnomes, it's kind of like funny because she's just like I don't have any I don't know. Her character in the end doesn't mean a lot because she'll get replaced eventually, but it's
Yeah.
like a whenever Shuro comes in, whenever we talk about Core 2,
Mhm.
Shuro, I'll tell you how much I hate that guy. He's a fucking loser. His group, on the other hand, his group is based. Love his
Yeah.
group. Um, and then we'll talk about Fallon for like the 2 episodes she's pretty much in it.
Yeah. I think
Lovable.
she's literally in it for like
She's
27 minutes, I
yeah,
think.
she's in it for the first part and then the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, not even 2 episodes because they get her at the end of episode 12, and
Yeah.
then she's gone by the beginning of episode 13. So,
Dumb lovable idiot. There's another way to put
yeah,
her. She's super sweet.
she is Laos
She is the other half of
sister.
Laos.
Yeah,
Like when they dude, that fucking animation sequence of them running in the fucking field
yeah,
is that Studio Trigger animation that
yeah.
like someone at Studio Trigger said, no, we gotta have one scene in our art style. And they did that fucking scene.
Mhm,
And it looks like a fucking Luluka Space Patrol scene.
mhm.
It's fucking wild how funny it is. Like
And
it
it's
perfectly
funny whenever they
encapsulates who they
resurrect
are.
her.
Huh?
Yeah. It's just the scene whenever they first resurrect her, their chick Chilchuck and Marcel are like, yeah, we've been eating monsters, it's been super gross. And Fallon slowly looks at Leia, is like, which ones? Tell me which ones. Eat them all. I still want to eat them. I want to eat them now. And it's just like I think that's perfect. That's just like yes,
That's
support.
because that's what they grew up wanting to do.
Yeah,
So it's just cool. She's cool. We'll talk about her more in core 2 because
yeah,
that's where she becomes even more important than she was in core 1 because she's still an integral part of the fucking story. I mean,
yeah,
the only reason any of this is happening because she got eaten.
yeah.
Um,
And then Cecil, I guess.
Cecil, dude, is that how they pronounce it?
I think it's something like that.
It definitely is
Sissel.
Sissel. It's
Sissel. Okay.
SISSEL.
Yeah, Sissel.
Definitely
Okay.
not
My fault.
Cecil, dude.
My fault.
Isn't
That's my
Cecil?
middle name. My fault. My fault.
Isn't Cecil from like Dukes of Hazzard or some shit?
I think so.
No, I think that
I don't know. It's something.
uh, maybe I know a guy named
Uh,
Cecil, which is funny, but
yeah.
uh,
Sissel's really cool for the
Cecil would
20 minutes.
yeah he does.
He's in.
I got used to that. I've been
I
calling her
know.
she this whole time.
He's in the
He's
anime.
still so hot. I don't care. All the elves are hot. Wait till you see the other elf that also looks like they could be a female. Oh, Kaburu's got it so good, man. Not actually. It's a fucking awful situation for him. But Sissel Sissel's cool from a villain standpoint. The Dark Mage, the Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
What other titles do they have? Oh, Lunatic Magician and Mad Mage are the other two that he has. It's funny that he went from Jester Mage to Lord of the Dungeon. That's such a funny
Mhm.
fucking Thistle. Oh, his name is actually Thistle.
Thistle. Huh.
You know what? Sissel may just be a translation difference of how like Thistle maybe is official translation. Sissel is probably like the direct translation. But
Mhm.
he's cool.
Yeah.
He'll get even cooler because he's only shown like a little bit of what he does. Because I'm assuming during the dragon scene there was the whole him actively changing the dungeon. Like, did he change like the dungeon walls when they were fighting the dragon? If not,
No, he
then
did not.
spoiler
No.
alert, he does that all the fucking time. He's a little bitch.
So basically, all he really does is after the dragon's dead, he shows up after they resurrect Fallen, and like calls her, and makes the blood of the dragon to like little mini dragons, and then Marcel has to fight those off.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, all right, you're coming back to me, Felon. Since you're like half dragon, you're mine now. Don't care,
Um,
didn't ask.
we really don't have to talk about anyone in Kaburu's party other than Kaburu and Rin.
Yeah,
Rin's the
those the only
Eastern
real two.
woman.
Yeah.
Kaburu is based. We love Kaburu. He's fucking hilarious. His whole inner monologue against Laos is the funniest shit ever. Wow, this guy's fucking insane. He's crazy.
He's crazy.
He wants me to do what with monsters? He wants me to do what? And then Rin saved. I don't know if they showed in the anime, but Rin fucking saves him like 40 times. It's so funny. 'Cause I think they're the
I like the dog guy, the little dog. in their group.
Kuro.
Kuro, yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's
he's
silly.
based.
He is.
Um,
I mean, we can talk about the voice acting since you want to do that.
yes. Let's
The
talk about
Smosh guy.
all the sub is obviously good, but did you know that fucking what's his name from Smosh voices Laos? What is his name again? His
you
last
sent me
name's
a-
Haas.
Yeah, you sent me a message about it.
Damien Haas
Yeah.
from Smosh voices Laos. And he sounds so good.
Yeah.
ProZD, or Proz, whatever you want to call him, voices Senshi. It's insane how good he is at it. Like, it's crazy how like well he's gotten into dub voice acting. Especially from a guy who just does funny YouTube, like little skits, and he also just eats. I tried 32 different fast food items from this restaurant.
Yeah. And it's funny because all the voice actors look like if there was a live action, we were
The
talking about
fucking
this. If there was a
Chilchuck
live
voice
action,
actor, dude. I don't even know the Chilchuck's voice actor name. Anyway, yeah, characters for me is a 10 out of 10. This is one of my favorite,
it's easily
if not
10
my
out of 10
favorite
on that one.
cast of like anything, really. And it'll probably stay that way in Core 2 because it actually gets better for me.
Yeah. The 2 episodes of Kabura, Kaburu, how do you is it Kabura?
Kaburu.
Kaburu.
It's KBRU.
Yeah, he seems so peak. Like honestly.
He's funny. He unironically becomes like a main character in Core 2, so
I love his whole group, honestly. I like the little gnomes, or are they gnomes or
they are half-foots.
okay. Yeah.
Enjoyability.
Yes.
Basically the all-around stat for stuff we want to talk about.
Honestly, I'm not the biggest D&D person. I've never been
Me, who's
into
currently
it,
in the process of building a Pathfinder sheet.
but I still went into this just because it was cooking and I loved cooking and I really enjoyed it. They didn't really go too much into the D&D aspect as they did the cooking aspect, just because
No, it's not like you know what, just know what I'm saying. Just keep going while I think about this.
At least that's what I felt like to me. Like I didn't feel like anything that was specific, that was not a general term for like everything. Like Mandrake, I kind of knew what that meant, and I really enjoyed it. I just felt like the animation made it really enjoyable, the characters made it really enjoyable, the plot made it really enjoyable. So I mean, all of those kind of go into enjoyability. And we have high numbers in all of those, so I really enjoyed it personally. Uh, you
My
have
thing
anything?
is I know what Core 2 is, so I know that my ceiling for this is going to be so much higher when we get to Core 2. Especially since there's only 2 cores. I wonder if there's just gonna be a second season with the rest of it, because there's no way they're fitting the whole thing in 2 cores. The best way to put my enjoyability rating for it would be is I really enjoy Core 1, but I know that since I've already read the manga because I'm a little filthy idiot, I know that I'm going to enjoy Core 2 significantly more, and I think that already just kind of like it kind of bumps it down a little bit for me, and I don't mean that like a negative way. I said at the beginning that Core 1 is not like, I like the cooking aspect of it, but it doesn't have the dark fantasy aspect I got into Dungeon Meshi really for.
Yeah.
So personally, I'm still gonna keep it at like a 7 because I know what the rest of the series is going to end up being for me.
Mhm.
Um,
My score will probably go down for the same reason yours is, but from a person that just only has seen Core 1, I'm gonna put it at like a 9 because I've only seen Core 1. It probably will go down in the future, like just the same way yours has gone down.
man, I gotta do fucking
So
math.
yeah.
Keep yapping, keep yapping.
It's like you probably had it at like a 9 or a 10 before you watched Core 1 or Core 2, I would
I
assume.
probably still had it in like an 8.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
like I stated before, I prefer. That's a very fair score for Core 1. I like Core 1. Uh, it's just there's some parts of it where it's like, yeah, it's cool, but at the same time, there's a
Mhm.
lot of
Yeah.
inconsistent. It's a foreshadowing core. Everything is building up, which is
Yeah.
why I think the enjoyability goes down for me because pretty much until the Red Dragon, nothing happens. Like
Basically, yeah.
nothing
I
important. I mean,
mean,
you get like once we get to the fish place, stuff happens, and you have like the
yeah.
orcs, but and the
It's like the
paintings, but
second we get to the paintings, like starts getting like things happen. But I do kind of like just the relaxed beginning of it. It introduces me to this world and what is soon to become in the future.
I think
Like you
if we
said,
were to put
foreshadowing.
Core 1 and Core 2 together, which would make the full season, I think it would be different. This rating for me would go up to like a 9 because
Yeah.
then all that building up would be to what I know it's going to, which is the part that
Mm,
it is going towards.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, well, because we're only basing it off Core 1, I have to not add the full season into it. Our
Yeah.
total score is 82 out of 100. So an
That
8.2 out
seems
of
really
10
fair.
seems
Yeah.
like pretty much around what I'd rate it. I think
Yeah.
I actually did rate Core 1 on Annie list.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
No, I definitely lied. I definitely don't
Oh,
think I
well,
did.
he's a
I'm still
professional gaslighter.
watching it. Did I put a rating for it though? No.
Okay.
I can tell you what I gave the manga. I think I definitely rated the manga.
Yeah.
Or do I have them under ratings? I do. I have it an 8 out of 10, and I think it's just because of the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, then again, I really need to fix some of my ratings because a lot of these are just haha funny ratings. Like I have Duchokyu Karashi X Kanojo as a 10, which did I comment on it? Oh, I just said peak.
That's all you
It's
need.
about a couple getting married, pretty much. Now like we need to do a silent voice. I don't know if you've ever watched that movie, Kyle.
I need to.
Put your watch on it. That's something you need to watch with somebody so you can cry with them.
Heard.
Just get ready. I think I have it as a 10 of 10. Um, Man, if only the Tokyo Ghoul anime was good.
Yeah, for real.
That is something we could talk about. That'll be a fun one. Also, just
That would
fucking
be.
comment when we should talk about, man. Give us some anime recommendations, even if they fucking
Yeah.
suck.
Honestly, I like the sucky ones because I can meme the hell out of them while
Like,
he's serious about them.
fuck it, dude. Let's watch Fairy
We need to
Tale.
watch.
No,
We need to watch
soundtrack, a fucking 10 out of 10.
Soundtrack 10 out of
Plot, like a 3.
10. We need to watch the funny vending machine in a dungeon.
No,
What's
I
that?
am
What's that
the
show
one where the
called?
like the girl like carries the vending machine on her back.
Yes, I've
No,
seen a trailer for that, and it looks so funny.
I'm sure
Um,
it's good.
it
I mean,
probably is,
do you know what the name
unironically.
is?
Um,
This is the part where we can kind of do whatever we want. We did our.
yeah, I don't remember what the name of it is. Now we're just gonna blabber on.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is like the first episode of this.
Ugh.
Oh, here it is. Jido Hanbiki Ni Umara Kawada Orewa. What's the English name? Reborn is a vending machine. I now wander the dungeon. The future of this fantasy world now lies in the hands of a vending machine. Boxo was once a human until he died in an accident and was reincarnated as a sentient piece of machinery. While he could still hear and see, there is no way for him to move by himself or speak more than his programmed phrases. How can he make the most of this new strange life?
Hell yeah.
And it's literally just a vending machine with like with big ass eyes on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like he's like straddled to the back of some girl. What the fuck? His name is literally fucking Boxo. His Japanese name is Hakon. That's crazy. That's real. Recommendations are all fucking Tensura anime after that. Actually, no, this is something different.
What oh yeah, the Suzumi movies on Netflix now, so that's cool.
I didn't even hear anything about it, man.
Yeah. I just watched the trailer. I was like, oh well, that'll be cool to go watch. And then I mean, Boy and the Heron, if you haven't watched that yet.
I love the fucking song for Suzume. No, I haven't watched Boy and the Heron. I know it was incredible though.
It won Golden Globe and whatever the Oscars.
Yeah, for animation.
Over Spider-Verse. Everyone was so upset. I'm like, hell ratio, funny anime.
They were both good. Spider-Verse was there was 30 minutes in that whole last movie that didn't need to be in that movie.
Yeah.
That last ending part, man, we got to talk about Spider-Verse 1 and 2. I finally watched the first Spider-Verse.
It's such a good movie. It's
rewatch, I guess, is the better term. I didn't like fully watch the first one because I got sick in the middle of it, and I just kind of like, oh well, it was still great.
I think the first one is just better than the second one. That's
I don't know, dude. Miguel O'Hara, by the way, free dogs.
Free dogs.
Miguel O'Hara is awesome.
Yeah. I remember walking out of the movie theater with my sister, and she's like, wow, Miguel was kind of an asshole. I'm like, that's kind of his whole thing. That's literally
clearly she never played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions?
Shattered Dimensions, yeah.
For the Wii?
For the 360, the Wii, and the PS3.
That shit goes crazy. Miguel O'Hara's an asshole the whole time.
Yep.
He's just cool though. Like,
yeah, he's just badass, honestly.
They made him be more badass. Man, if Sony would just only worry about what they got right now instead of fucking around with Morbius.
Aren't they making a second one? I don't know if that's fake
Venom,
news or not.
I think Venom 3 The Last Dance is coming out, and that'll be it.
Venom 3 The Last Dance.
You know what? I think Craven's still in development, but they did cancel I'm gonna just stream MLB The Show, but I unironically think I would get banned.
Yeah.
Not for saying anything bad, but like I don't know how I don't have a fucking hole through my wall. I'm so look.
I've seen people play that game, and the AI in that game looks so wonky.
If anybody has played MLB The Show 24 Diamond Dynasty Online, ranked, and you have had to face Randy fucking Johnson, and then fucking Leclerc as a closing pitcher, and if you use them, I hope your family stubs every single one of their last fucking pinky toes, and then have to go into surgery for them.